Hey guys, it's a new wick, it's 2 new juices, and it's the final review of the Mountain Vapor range. Hopefully I got that pack shot in. If I didn't, there we go, looking at Mountain Vapor, Mountain Vapor, Mountain Vapor, Mountain Vapor from archangelvapors.com. Now of course there was 8 juices sent to me by the guys, and this is the final 2, which again, like the previous video, Mountain B.U.M, I've deliberately held back from vaping for 2 reasons. 1, they're a similar type of tobacco flavour, and 2, I'm probably going to, sort of, with the consistency and quality that I've sampled so far, I'm expecting a contender for my favourite tobacco flavoured e-liquid, which is called Desert Ship, mixed for me by a good friend of mine, Tony Fish. So, first off we've got Turkish, and then second off we've got Dromedary. Now, to get me in the mood for it, today I've been vaping mostly my Desert Ship. On my drip, I mean I go W, and sort of get my palate accustomed to it, and so I've got a good sort of reference, like my particular favourite tobacco, which is along these veins, so I've got something to compare to. So first up, I'm going to go with the Turkish. Now, I'm expecting this to be a thick, rich, very strong flavoured e-liquid, and I'm not disappointed by smell alone. So of course, as always, dripping up in front of the camera. It's a much lighter colour than I expected it to be, because it's quite dark in the bottle. Oh, I've gone right off camera there we go. And give it a quick verse. Yeah, vaping alright, isn't it? Pokey pokey! Life's a jokey. I don't know where that came from. Probably the caffeine in Mountain B.U.M. Still buzzing from that, by the way. Turkish. Let's go and have a 2. Ooh. That I was not expecting. It's got a very heavy, rich, I knew it was going to be rich. I've had Turkish tobaccos before. Wow, I was really not expecting that. So immediately there's that power of rich, heavy, thick, dense Turkish tobacco flavour, but it's also very sweet. And on the exhale, I've got hazelnut, a distinct flavour of hazelnut, and that hazelnut. That's really nice. I'm impressed by that one. It's not a Desert Ship killer. It's got the edge on that nutty flavour, but damn, that's good. Vapor quality, not bad, it's good. Indicative of a 50-50 mix. Again, 18mg nicotine, and that nicotine sitting at the back of the throat, nice and peppery, good quality flavour. Certainly feeling the hit off it after going to 11mg. So again, consistency, again, I'm impressed. Still with nose exhale, I can't remember if I've done one yet, to see if it changes the flavour, like the rest of them have been quite dynamic and changed on the nose exhale. It has changed, again. A bit more subtle on the hazelnutty flavour, but it's still there. About, say, 40% of the mix, but then the Turkish element does come out a bit more with the sweet, heavy, dense flavour. Quite impressed with that, and actually I really was not expecting that sort of flavour to come out at all. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with that. Like I said, it's not a Desert Ship killer. Still, and I'm still yet to try the Dromedary. That's really nice. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to score that one quite highly, I think. In my opinion, that deserves an 8 out of 10. purely on the fact that I was absolutely surprised by that presence of a hazelnut flavour, a real nice sweet hazelnut, like in the chocolate, like a hazelnut chocolate sort of flavour. It's just there. And I was like, wow, I was expecting a very heavy, smoky flavour. But no, I'm actually really quite pleasantly surprised by that. So a good solid 8 out of 10 on the consistency of the vapour, the consistency of the nicotine, and good quality dynamic flavour. Very impressed with that. So once again, 8 out of 10 for the Mountain Vapors Turkish flavoured e-liquid. Okay, back in a minute. New wick, another flavour. Now, you're probably wondering why I've been whiffling on about my favourite tobacco flavoured e-liquid being the Desert Ship. Now, if we look along our colloquialisms in the English language, Desert Ship often refers to the camel, the ship of the desert. And so, it's supposedly a simulacrum of camel. I had, whilst I was a smoker, 3 favourite cigarettes. And if I could buy them, I would go for one of the 3. And this was one of my favourites, Camel. I used to smoke Camel like they were going out of business, to be fair. And dromedary is another word for camel, evidently, as I have been informed by the proprietor of ArchangelVapor.com. So, for me, this has got some very, very high standards to reach. Smell. Very muted compared to the Desert Ship, but then as I've mentioned previously, I do like strong smells and flavour. Let's strip it up, and of course, as per on camera. Oops. Again, a nice light colour. Darker in the bottle, but quite light on the sorry, the old phone of eye going off. Decent enough vapour coming off that. Right. Is this going to be the Desert Ship killer? Let's find out. 14 watts as per on the SID, 1.9 single microcoil, cotton wool wick, same cotton wool as always, my super drug variant. Spot Mods big boy drip tip. It's not a Desert Ship killer. In fact, actually, I'm a little disappointed in that. I was expecting, well, I did say straight off the bat, it's got a high standard to hit. Vapour's good enough. I think I'm going to have the hiccups in a minute. Flavour wise though, it's a lot more muted than I was hoping. Even the scent, I did say, was quite muted. Nicotine throat hit for 18 milligram. Again, consistent. But what I'm going to say with the flavour is, it's pleasant enough, but, and there's a big one I'm afraid, it's got a grassy sort of taste. I don't know if you remember either being a kid or if you're like me, a big kid, you know, going out and playing with your kids, or as a kid going out and playing and rolling around in grass. And you get, like cut grass for example, you get that sort of smell in the air, and it does taste like that smell. Now for a lot of people that's a pleasant smell. For me it's a pleasant smell. It brings back a lot of happy memories, growing up in the countryside, and yeah, you know, it's good. But not as a vape, or even a cigarette actually for that matter. Nose exhale for me is definitely better on this. It becomes a much more tobacco-y flavour. And as compared to the Desert Ship, again my favourite, which is a camel simulacrum, it doesn't taste as close to I remember a camel tasting as the Desert Ship does. However, it is a pleasant flavour. So let's get down to scores. Vape production, it's still hanging around in the air right now, it's coiling around my strip light there. Good vapour, good stuff again, indicative of the 50-50 mix. Nicotine, again, consistency, people. This is what we want, good consistent nicotine, good quality nicotine, and that is exactly that. Great little peppery taste. I enjoy that peppery taste at the back of my throat, in case you haven't noticed. And it's the same peppery taste. Flavour wise, not quite what I was expecting, a little bit let down, but of course I did have a high standard for this. My friend Tony knows exactly what I want, and he provides it every single time. It's not a Desert Ship killer for me, but if you want a decent enough camel flavour, you could do much worse than that. I mean, I've had a camel flavour before which literally tasted like what I presume an anus tastes like. That one ain't it. That's actually fairly pleasant. It's a nice, pleasant, sweet flavour. Good tobacco-y afternote. Good sort of, as a tobacco flavoured e-liquid goes, it has that tobacco feel in the mouth. I've got the, rather than just having the peppery taste here on the back of the throat, I've got it all the way through my mouth, on the tip of my tongue, on the middle of my tongue, and on the back of my tongue. It's up in the cheeks as well a little bit. So it does fill the mouth. It's a very good tobacco flavour. But on the whole, I am going to have to give it a 6 out of 10 because it is not what I was expecting a camel flavour to taste like. Now, I'm not saying it's supposedly an exact simulacrum, but from my discussions with the proprietor, I had that impression in mind. But overall, it's a good, decent enough tobacco flavoured vape. A point of note for all these tobacco flavours. They are made, I believe, as organically as possible, and some may or may not contain actual tobacco derivatives. On the whole, that's not a bad thing because you do get a much more authentic tobacco taste. They can be coil killers. Now, observe. This was a nice tidy coil. Went in very well. My wicking is pretty good. But that coil, come on, focus up, Peppy, was all nice and tidy, and now it's all gunked up and a little bit worse for wear. That is 25 gauge canful, I think 6 wraps, maybe 7, obviously cinched up together in a microcoil sort of array, and it has gunked it up pretty well to the point of when I have changed back to my normal regular everyday flavour, it's coming through muted, and that's actually quite a rich, sweet flavour. What I will say in wrapping up on the Mountain Vapour range, the quality has been consistent. The dynamics of the change in flavour from mouth exhale to nose exhale on the majority of these e-liquids has been very, very, very interesting and quite eye-opening. I've never had juices that have done that before. I've enjoyed doing this review immensely. Sometimes when I get quite a lot of the same range to go through, towards the end of doing the batch of videos I start getting a little bit bored. But these have been quite exciting, mostly because of, well, the cherry yum. I hate cherry flavours, but that cherry yum, as soon as I'm able to, I'm ordering it. I'm going to see if he does it in 50 mils now, because, yeah, that good, squishy. And I've really enjoyed doing this review all the way through, because of the excitement involved in doing it. So I'm going to add Mountain Vapour to my top trusted vendors, trusted e-liquids list. Of course, that would be Kraken e-cigarettes, Great e-vapes, and now Mountain Vapour. I will be purchasing some of these again, and quite possibly for the long term. In fact, definitely for the long term in the case of cherry yum, because that's just lush. Sweet leaf, fantastic. Sweet ice, hell of a kick. I have been made aware because the sweet ice in its standard form is quite strong. There is a light version for people who don't really want to breathe in an Arctic blast every day. So, to wrap up, I've been impressed with Mountain Vapor, very impressed, to the point I've added them to my trusted manufacturers list, which is 3 long. You know, there are plenty of that well, on the whole, every single juice I have reviewed has been decent enough, but not quite to go onto that list of mine, of which I will go back to this company, I will purchase their wares again and again and again. And they're not just going to be a flash in the pan, so to speak. On the whole, I'm going to give Mountain Vapor, for the consistency of quality throughout the range that I've been given to review, a resounding 10 out of 10. Well done, boys, you've really surprised me. There's been highs and lows amongst this taste testing. I'm going to be doing a series of blind taste testings with these on the request of the proprietor of Archangel Vapor, of which I will have some unsuspecting victims trying the juice alongside a simulacrum of a more inferior juice, and see which ones they prefer. The testings will be edited, of course, but only to the point of removing any unnecessary gumph, so literally just the facts. And hopefully that will sort of reflect what I've been saying, although initial verdicts have been very positive. I've been Fury79, I've waffled yet again, that's what you come back for, the whiffle. You've been gorgeous, once again, peace.